All right, so for our final lesson of this unit, we're going to talk about environmental considerations for landscaping. So there's a way to maximize your water efficiency that's using the water the best way that you can. That's called xeriscaping. It's a form of a landscaping design to eliminate the need for additional watering. It can be planted anywhere from a wet climate to a very dry one, but the gardens look really different. The purpose is to produce sustainable landscape design. So that means you don't really have to take care of it as much. It's lower maintenance, no additional water, and should thrive. Initial costs might be higher than other types of landscaping, but the ongoing costs are lower. So maybe your costs are higher up front, but you'll save money in the long run. It's really used in dry climates, so they're using plants that are going to grow well in dry environments. So it relies upon native plants to reduce the need for additional water. So like your southwest garden, it's going to rely on shrubs that grow in the region, cactus, or other succulents. These plants are naturally able to survive with very little water or to store water for future use. So these are great plants that you would use in xeriscaping. Begins with a thorough plan, starting with a strong understanding of the site, the climate, the soil, existing plants. Landscape elements may be provided to provide shade and reduce heating and cooling costs. When it begins at a new construction site, the landscape should take place during construction. All bare dirt should be fully covered by the time it's completed. Um, Geotextiles are a choice to help increase water retention and reduce erosion. So they're adding things in. Xeriscaping in many environments replaces turf with more resilient and lower care plants. So a lot of times, like you may see this, it's like rocks and cactus, that sort of thing. Those are xeriscaped landscapes. Soil erosion is a natural occurring process that wears away the topsoil. Remember, topsoil is what's so fertile and where everything grows. Erosion is where that topsoil is going away, whether by wind, water, agriculture processes like tilling. Um, Smart landscaping can reduce soil erosion in parks, yards, gardens, and other spaces. Topsoil is critical to growth and development, providing rich, nourishing environment essentials for plants to thrive. So we want to keep that. So it says, imagine setting a house on a hill. When it rains, the water runs down the hill. When the wind blows, the topsoil is blown away from parts of the hill. Over time, more and more soil erodes as the wind blows and rainwater runs down the hill. Plants die, and your house is now sitting on a hill of dirt. When you try to plant grass or other plants, they die because there's no topsoil. So imagine the same house, but instead of a steep hill with some plants desperately trying to cling, the hill is made up of large flat terraces. Terraces are basically horizontal lines that you'll see. Terraces are a raised area of land with the top level. A lot of farmland is terraced, and it's in order to retain water and retains topsoil. So they're kept in place with retaining walls. We've seen pictures of those. Those are walls that are holding in the soil. They keep the dirt from eroding. Same principles apply on a larger scale. Think about a vineyard or grove of olive trees. Terracing may or may not be used, but the trees serve to prevent soil erosion. And those are those geotiles to prevent erosion. So they see how we just kind of leave them on the soil so the soil cannot go anywhere. So landscape designers use 4 ways to block, reduce, or prevent soil erosion. We talked about geotextiles and geomembranes. Or we've covered 2, walls and plants. The others are geotextiles and geomembranes. These fiber products, so they're plastic or fiber, they look like this. And they may be probably made out of the same stuff that makes up like a PVC pipe. They vary widely in a number of ways. Some of them are solid and woven. Others are grid-like. They're not as appealing, but they do work. All right, let's do our knowledge check. Nadia is designing the landscaping for a new hospital and is trying to come up with a design that's cohesive and is a single driving design or feeling. They're most interested in what? What is mostly with a single unit? Unity, right? That's where everything goes together. It's one. 2, Tyrus is planning to use some woody plants in a new landscape design for his home. What time of the year should they plant? Remember, in the fall, so they're not having to worry about leaves or flowers blooming. That way the plant can just focus on setting roots and growing. 3. Kamiko is interested in adding some extensive landscaping to her new house, but she knows she won't have much time to care for it once it's complete. She wants a landscape design that's mostly self-sustainable. We just talked about that one, right? Xeriscaping. That's the one where they use native plants, where we limit the water use. All right, and that wraps up the landscaping unit. Make sure you remember that hardscaping and softscaping. Hardscaping is anything that you add to the landscape, like a pond or retaining wall, stepping concrete steps, whatever. Softscaping are the plants. Remember, xeriscaping is a form of landscaping where you have limited, where you eliminate the use of using additional watering. Remember the different styles and what all goes into planning and managing landscape.